Hello, I'm JIllaine Smith with Fourth Quadrant Partners, and today we're going to learn about before and after action reviews. How many times have you finished a piece of work thinking, that didn't go as planned? Or you left a meeting thinking, that wasn't a good use of our time? Or perhaps you've been in the middle of a conversation or even a project and realized your team was not on the same page. Or your organization jettisoned an entire strategy because you didn't get the results that you sought. When we give ourselves the opportunity to get clear on desired outcomes and reflect on what actually contributed to the results that we experienced, we are more likely to achieve what we want and apply what we learned to future work. Before and after action reviews are a simple, easy to learn and use tool to help us do just that. Before and after action reviews, BARs and AARs, are also the easiest and most accessible entry points into emergent learning, and one of the most direct ways to build discipline, to plan for and learn from actual results in real time, while advancing your actual work. Together with the other practices and tools of emergent learning, BARs and AARs demonstrate the power and impact of reflecting in real time about work immediately in front of you. BARs and AARs also help a group apply what they learn to upcoming work. We believe that a lesson is only learned when team members notice their results, reflect on those results, change what they do, and then their new thinking and actions produce better results, even in changing conditions. You can think of a BAR and an AAR as bookends to a piece of action. Asking before a piece of work, what are we really trying to accomplish here? And what will it take to do that? And afterwards asking, did we get what we were hoping for? What worked? What didn't? What should we learn from that? And when and how are we going to apply what we learned moving forward? BARs and AARs, whether done singly or in sequence together, help a group consciously test and refine its thinking and actions in real time, using actual results as a guide while there is still time to correct course and improve the outcomes of an ongoing project or initiative. You can hold a BAR or an AAR around any piece of action at any level in just 30 minutes. You can even use BARs and AARs to think about a whole series of actions, like launching and reflecting on an initiative or a strategic planning process, or a series of important meetings. And because they are so simple, BARs and AARs can also be used across a network of partners working together on a shared goal. Having this practice in common gives everyone a shared learning language and sensibility, creating a learning ecosystem. So let's dive into each of them. We'll start with the after action review because many people have already heard about it. The AAR asks the team to reflect honestly on actual results compared to what they intended to achieve, and to talk equally honestly about what contributed to those results, both what worked well and what did not, so they can do better next time. An AAR is basically a set of simple yet powerful questions for the team most responsible for the work to ask after some discrete piece of work, after an important meeting, or a convening of key stakeholders, or after key inflection points of a major long-term campaign or initiative. The group explores intended against actual results, what caused those results, and what should be sustained or improved. And when is the next opportunity to test what the team has learned? And lastly, when will it do its next BAR? I want to stress the importance of resisting the temptation to change the second question to what happened. By focusing on how actual results compared with intended results, the team will see that both success and failure are valid material for developing lessons. The part of the conversation is this second question, allowing the team to explore what aspects of the system or context contributed to the result. Understanding contributing factors reduces the risk of throwing out a key piece of work or strategy just because you did not get the result that you sought from it. If the group struggles with the question, what will we sustain or improve? Ask this powerful alternative. If we could turn the clock back, what would we do differently? I want to make an important distinction here. Some organizations conduct AARs only after a major failure in order to identify big systems fixes. We call these postmortems, and while postmortems are important to do, basically, when a mistake is so profound, essentially the patient dies, that you need to make sure it can never be repeated. So you build checks and balances into the system to prevent it. But from a learning perspective, a post-mortem moves the locus of responsibility away from the people doing the work, basically mitigating for the fact that human beings make mistakes. But mistakes are how we learn. So unless the mistake elevates to the level of, we can never ever let this happen again, try to keep the learning and correction centered on the people who were responsible for creating the results in a just-in-time and fit-for-purpose way. And please, we would ask that you distinguish for yourself and for others between AARs and postmortems. We've also been hearing reference to after-action reports. These are efforts to document, for accountability purposes, what worked and did not, but they take away the emphasis from a learning conversation that will strengthen or even improve results. Let's move on to before action reviews. The primary purpose of the BAR is to make sure that everyone in a group shares the same understanding of what it is they are trying to accomplish and how would they collectively recognize success. This means that everyone is actively thinking about how to achieve success, how to predict challenges that might get in the way of success, and how to draw on past experience in order to improve and strengthen chances for success. A BAR is different from planning. It's more like a sports team huddling before a play. In a sense, it takes the plan on paper and asks, so what is it really going to take to make this work? And it makes sure that everyone who has a role to play in making the work a success is involved in thinking the work through together. When a group says out loud in advance what it expects to achieve and what success will look like, it's an opportunity to confirm that we want the same thing. And it's a whole lot better to find that out now rather than in the middle of a piece of work or afterwards. The more concrete the answers, the easier it will be to compare intent with results during the AAR. Identifying potential challenges is the last chance to get real, to use the group members' experience to predict what is likely to get in the way and plan for it. Are there predictable scheduling bottlenecks to plan for? Is there someone who needs to be contacted before the event? Even if none of the anticipated challenges actually happen, having explored this question gets the group ready for anything unpredictable. I used to skip the question about what have we learned from similar situations until I saw that there is a kind of amnesia about learning. When you've achieved something new, you forget that it did not used to seem possible, or you forget what it took to get you there. This is the time to consider lessons from past events or similar activities. And asking this question ensures the groups do not learn the same lessons over and over again. Asking now what will make us successful this time takes all you've said so far into account and asks you to consider what one thing could the group do that would make the biggest difference. And it's easy to leave this next question, when will we do the AAR, off the list, but it may be the most important one. Get the AAR on the calendar now. So, when should we do and use BARs and AARs? Do a BAR anytime you're about to do something as a team that matters and you're not certain that you're going to get the results you want. Do an AAR anytime you feel that you have something to learn from what just happened, whether it was a big victory or a disappointing result. And because they are so simple, you can hold a BAR or an AAR around any piece of action at any level in just 30 minutes with very little preparation. We often say that the team itself is the best and first customer for what they are learning, and that learning happens during, not after a project. BARs and AARs are most powerful when done iteratively around small but important pieces of work, strategy decisions, convenings, regular program activities. And keeping BARs and AARs short and simple makes them fit for purpose. If the BAR or AAR or prepping for it becomes too burdensome, a group may experience one great BAR or AAR, but resist committing to doing them on a regular basis. Taken together, BARs and AARs use real work to build a group's capacity to improve performance by comparing actual results with those intended, exploring the causes of those results, and applying the insights to the next opportunity to act. When used iteratively, this practice strengthens a team's ability to predict and address challenges in constantly changing environments. And before you know it, engaging in BARs and AARs will become very natural. So, pull out your calendar. What's coming up in the next week or the next month where you really care about the results? Schedule a BAR before and an AAR after, and you will find it will make a world of difference.